Hi, Pam Geagan here from the Center for Spiritual Living Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. And today my talk is coming from my home because, like so many others, we are in compliance with the shelter in place that was given by Governor Newsom in California. And I know they're doing this in many states nationwide and worldwide, as a matter of fact, because we're not in this alone. We're together in this, and together we're always stronger and we're always better. Anyway, I miss my peeps. Hi to all of you, our congregants and everyone out there. But today I want to do a talk about the coronavirus and just an analogy and a comparison by using a story. But first, I want to do a quote by Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind. He said, "I live in the faith that there is a presence and power greater than I am, and that nurtures and supports me in ways I could not even imagine. I know that that presence is an all-knowing and an all-power and is always right where I am." And so what we know right here is there is something greater happening to all of us right now on this planet. It's a global experience, and so I'm taking it as a global experience, and to absolutely recreate ourselves in a greater way. So my story actually comes from Mark Nepo, and Mark Nepo is one of my favorite authors. I believe he is a Buddhist, and he wrote, I think in his first book, this is from the Book of Awakening, and he talks about the Polynesians, and they believe that the world began when Turara, and I hope I'm saying this right, who was the name they gave the Supreme Creator, woke to find himself growing inside a shell, and he stretched, and when he stretched, the earth was created. So then Turara still kept growing, and after a time he stretched, and this time the moon was created, and still he kept growing, and once again breaking forth the creation of the stars, which included the sun, he stretched. In this ancient story, the Polynesians have carried for us and shared with us the absolute wisdom that when our consciousness grows, we continue to break successive cells around each time that a piece of God within us grows greater than what has been holding us in. Then what do? We break through and we grow beyond the containment. And so I think once again, there is no room to be who we were in the past. The world that we knew even a few weeks ago has changed radically. So we must leave behind and begin anew. It's like a new birthing situation and creation for us. When we do this, when we accept and embrace where we are right now, then in this way our life becomes a living of who we are, until once again that form of who we are becomes so great that we have to stretch and break through again. And when we stretch, it's usually a yearning to stretch. It starts way before the consciousness starts, way before we even begin the process. So the world was yearning to break free of, I think, a lot of the conflict in it right now, or what we perceive as the conflict, to break through in a greater way than ever before. So we must break through these forms that are holding us back and contain us in order to birth our way into that next expression in our new world and that our newly awakened self. So, some things no longer serve us, and this is one of the ways. The way we were living, it doesn't seem like it no longer serves us. So I have broken through a few shells in my lifetime, and I'm sure you have too. And so I'm just going to do cliff notes here, and it's birth and growing up in my search of who I was, and that was the first great break, any day now, great breakthrough, if I could only say it. And the passion of discovering who I was in this world, I was given that freedom to do that by parents, by society, and a lot of things. And so I had a lot of careers, and I loved every moment of them. But then a new passion would come along, and a heaven quake would come along and call to me. And so I would then begin to search that new passion. And becoming in the breakthroughs was my yearning to explore and understand what the 18th century poet William Blake called the world in a grave of sand and heaven in a wild flower. And what Rumi wrote in his awareness awareness of being an ocean in a drop instead of a drop in the ocean. I wanted to experience that. I wanted to be one with the waves, inhale the beauty and wisdom of the stars, move gracefully with the rhythm of the universal heartbeat, not just hear the music, but be the music, and let the music be my soul. So I went in search of those, and those are all what I consider those spiritual passions calling to me in my inner self. So I went into the mystic side of things, into the mystery that leads me to understand the divine within me. And Lisa Coffey, who is our Vedanta teacher, always says, what Krishna said, the most important thing you can ever do is to know yourself. That is why you're here, to know who you are and to go back to source and remember that God is I am, Krishna is, whatever you call the thing itself, the only thing there is, that energetic presence on this planet. So I continue to search, and I am in the perfect position for searching and researching because I'm a minister at this wonderful Center for Spiritual Living. So it leads me to continue to strengthen my spiritual muscle as I grow and stretch my consciousness. It has led me to wonder in this time of fear over the coronavirus, what is our next great breakthrough here, causing worldwide angst that is happening right now and is radically changing lives, I believe, not only on the surface, but on a cellular level. Is it possible that this C virus is pushing us to stretch once again and keeping us sequestered in the comfortability is just keeping us in the shell until we regroup and we can once again stretch out and break through the shell and into that level of possibility that it gives us the opportunity for the rebirth and awakening to something greater. Is it possible our Mother Earth is recreating herself, and the only way she knew how to do it in her divine intelligence was to create something globally that made everything change on this planet? It's so interesting because together we have cut down on a lot of emissions on the planet, not just the United States, but other countries too. And they say from space now, NASA says from space, you can see that the skies are clearer, the oceans are clearer, the air we breathe is clean and clear, that everything at a rapid pace even, which I'm really surprised at, is cleaning up. On social media, we've witnessed those sequestered who are connecting in new and inventive ways. The people in different countries who stand at their apartments at night and sing the same song together in unison and support one another, although they're staying 6 feet apart from one another as we are here. So the coronavirus is changing everything, and I'm following all those requests to stay in place, washing my hands and clothes. I have washer women hands now, and also following the social distancing of 6 feet or more. And I'm not touching my face, and the divine within me is where most of my work is being done. What other choices do we have at this moment? We can watch TV only so long, we can read only for so long, and then it's time to go into that meditative quiet. I am awakening to this deeper feeling of how I deeply cherish those in my life and my world. All the good that has been given to me generously and freely, I am so grateful for. At the same time, I recognize this pandemic is big and it's changing us at the deepest level forever. In just a few weeks, new images from space again verify the cleansing of the planet and the clearing of our environment. And I so want that to continue, not only for me, but for my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, because we were given this beautiful planet and we haven't done such a great job, this generation, especially my generation, not the new generation, but my generation. The millennials are doing a much better job than we are, I think, in some ways, because we had to change first. So the most important quality of why we're here is to reset and reorganize our priorities, to discover who we are and what we bring forth in this revealing of that peace. And I say peace, Piece, and Peace, of that peace of God that lies within us. So you can build your house, you know, in the Bible stories and in children's stories like the Three Little Pigs, they always say you can build your house on sand and you can build your house on a rock. And when you build your house on sand and with sticks, the wind comes and blows the sand and knocks the house over. Where when you build your house on rock, a solid foundation, then it stays for eternity and is allowed to continue to remain who you are. And that rock I'm talking about is the divinity within you that calls to you constantly to remain awake and alert and to move into that indwelling divine spirit. So I invite you to go into meditation and ask yourself, what is calling to me to stretch? How is this great heaven quake we label a pandemic deepening who I am? Am I being prepared to stretch and break through to the next great big thing being birth? And then pray and listen to what you get in that meditation, to see the good and necessity that it offers for the growth of your soul. Ernest Holmes wrote, I believe that love is at the center of everything. Therefore, I accept the life and love and the power that who I am. I permit myself to love reach out from me to every person I meet. I believe that love is returned to me from every person I meet. I trust the guidance of love because I believe it is the power of good in the universe. I feel that love is flowing through me to heal every situation I meet, to help every person I contact. Love opens the way before me and makes it perfect, straight and glad. Love forgives everything unlike itself. It purifies everything, and that's what we're going through right now. And also, love converts everything that seems commonplace into that which is wonderful. Love converts weakness into strength, fear into faith. Stay safe and spiritually strong. And I go out with a namaste. I love each and every one of you. And knowing God is the power and presence, and so it is. Catch us on YouTube, on Facebook. Also watch Lisa Coffey. She's broadcasting now. We were all going to come together. Dr. Sue, go to her website, Truth Tidbits. She's doing a 30-day challenge. Buzz Noe, our practitioner at church, is also doing broadcasts with Reverend Lynn Chaplain Noe, his wife, and just catch all of the spiritual good you can to remain in this place of knowing that you are the rock, and that rock continues to build its house on a strong foundation. Namaste for reals.